I don't know how it is with the rest of the Neurospicy gang, but I feel that it's very often hard to adjust how to talk to people when you feel like you're being disrespected. Like when you're expressing yourself and you're saying, because the planning of what you're gonna say and how you're gonna say it is very important, and it's very precise. It's has to be perfect. It has to go well. It has to be the time. Well, it has to be the perfect time. Sorry, it has to be the perfect time to say what you need to say, and it has to be it has to be a perfect moment, and it has to be I don't know how to put words into, but anyway, it has to be in the right format, pretty much. And I feel like I have a hard time when expressing myself, and when I feel like somebody is disrespecting me or something, I have to just kind of adjust it into a way hey, how would this come across, or how would, instead of just being being direct and straightforward and knowing what to say. I'm not making excuses, but before I was in my adulthood, and before life kind of took a toll, I was very vocal about how I felt, and I was very I want to do it this way, and this makes me upset, and you're hurting my feelings. And I would do it in a nice and comforting and respectful way. But after that, when I went through what I went through, I just kind of found it hard to just express myself, because people would go and be I would say something, and then next thing you know, I would hurt their feelings, and they wouldn't even say I hurt their feelings in their most respectful way. They were just oh, you're so disrespectful, I don't do that, and they just gaslight me and stuff. And and then after that, I just did not know how to I didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't know how to I just kind of lost words, and I kind of lost the technique, not even technique. I kind of lost just the I'm trying to put it into words. Lost the ability to say how I feel and say it in a most respectful manner, because I was never encouraged to be like that. Because if I were able to do that, even if it wasn't really, in my opinion, very disrespectful, it would come across as disrespectful. And I feel with loved ones, and those who are supposedly there to support you, I feel if they were actually there to support you, they would understand how you're feeling, and they would understand what is going on, especially when you say it, instead of not reading too in between the lines, as they want to do. Because, and I'm gonna give you an example. When I couldn't express how I felt, and I had trouble expressing how I felt because I felt mistreated by loved ones and people that are supposedly close to me. Yes, they were helping me. Yes, they were helping me get through, do what I'm supposed to do. But on my bad days where I was just like, I really don't know what to do, I really don't know where to go, and I feel mistreated and I feel depressed and oppressed by y'all, I wrote them a letter and I said, hey, like, this is how I'm feeling. I don't want to come across this way, but this is how I'm feeling, and I think I'm an adult and I should be treated like an adult, and like, even if they don't agree about a situation, then they just should at least be understanding about how you're feeling. If you're feeling sad, if you're feeling depressed, they should be like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry you're feeling depressed. We'll figure this out. Like, we don't want to drag this situation out any longer, or we'll figure something out. You can talk to me about anything. And when that doesn't happen, it's just, you have to walk on eggshells, and it's the hardest. It's really hard, especially like if you're very emotional. And I'm the type that I don't like to cry in front of people. But when I get overstimulated, when I get overwhelmed, when I get like, when things are too much for me, then that's when I start getting emotional. Then that's when I start, like, not necessarily going crazy, but just crying and getting emotional and stuff. And I realize that's just a process, because people be like, people who see you emotional will be like, stop all that crying. There's no reason for you to cry. About why are you crying? And when they do that, it's just like, you're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to be getting emotional, because you put yourself in a situation where you did this. Now you're gonna cry about it. And it's like, no, I'm not used to standing up for people or standing up to people, and I'm not used to being emotional, because if you get emotional, or if I get emotional, I am like judged for it. And I'm a very, very emotional person, obviously. And it's just, like, I hate having to plan things. I hate having to walk on eggshells with people, and I won't do that anymore. I'm just going to say how I feel, because, as my boyfriend always says, fuck everybody's feelings, like, if they want to be mad about it, they can be mad about it. They're not going to like what I say, and, but at the same time, it's very hard. Nobody really talks about how, and I'm not, don't want to whine about it or anything. Nobody talks about how hard the process is. For me, it's extra hard for me. And I don't want to seem like a baby or anything like that, but, but yeah, just always being afraid that you're going to get judged or gaslighted into not feeling how you're feeling and not being emotional about it. Like, it's awful. It's an awful feeling, because you're supposed to be a friend. You're supposed to be a supportive friend. You're supposed to be, like, understanding. Why aren't you understanding? And that's the reason, why just simply walking away is just so much easier for me, because I can just distance myself without having to communicate, and without having to, like, be like, this is why I'm distancing myself from you. I'm going no contact. And maybe they'll hopefully think about how they managed to get into this situation with me in the first place, But 9 times out of 10, it doesn't work out that way, like everything else. So yeah, so but yeah, so that was my video. I'm just pretty much shit posting at this point. And I hope everybody, like, kind of resonates with what I'm saying, and everybody can understand what I'm saying, because this it is a very hard and nerve-wracking thing. Like, not many people on social media show a whole lot of empathy, and I'm not even going to pay attention to those people because they're keyboard warriors, and we ignore keyboard warriors. So I hope this post resonates with you, and I hope y'all have a good evening, and we'll talk soon. Bye.